Good afternoon. This is the City of Liberty Lake Parks and Arts Commission. Today is Monday, December 2nd, and the time is 4 p.m. Welcome. We'll start out today with our roll call. Commission member Nancy Hill, present. David Heimbaugh.
Present.
Please note Laura Frank is absent, excused. Katie Ferris.
Present.
John Barr. Noel Otterson Laparco is also absent and excused. And has Bob Schneidmiller joined us online?
Yes.
Not yet. We'll stand by and hopefully Bob can make it. Joni Hay, I don't see her. Is she online? No. Or Audrey White. Okay, please note that Bob, Joni, and Audrey are absent. Well, hopefully they'll be joining us soon. Staff present, Mikkel Stevens and Evan, our brilliant IT guy. Thank you for helping me earlier. I appreciate it. All right, moving to the November 4, 2024 meeting minutes, which are in your packet. Oh, and stand by. Our city administrator, Mark McAvoy, has joined us. Welcome.
Thank you, Nancy.
Okay. If everybody have a chance to look at the meeting minutes that are in your packet and were sent out earlier via email, if there are any edits or corrections, if not, I'll look for a motion to approve.
I move we approve.
Second that.
We have moved by Katie, seconded by David to approve the minutes. It's cold outside. The minutes as written. All in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed? Please show the motion carries unanimously. Moving on to citizen comments. The room is empty. Is there anyone online, Evan? No one wanting to comment. Okay, we'll move on from citizen comments. The next item is our action items. Number 5, the Ridgeline Art Rotary Room. There was a discussion, well, it wasn't really a discussion, a request that came in from Heather, one of the art teachers at Ridgeline High School. They were interested in if there could be a display of what I would call patriotic art to honor Veterans Day. However, the timing was like a week away from Veterans Day and we didn't have time to act on it. So I just wanted to bring it up to the commission that came forward. The Rotary Room is starting to get some rentals from what I understand, and there could be anything from a Rotary meeting to a wedding reception or anything therein. So I was going to take pictures of the walls there, but I just now remembered I didn't do that. So I think we should keep it in our minds what kind of art we want in there. I don't know if we want to have a lot of pictures on the wall, maybe just a couple signature pictures that wouldn't, I guess, interrupt the feng shui of the room and the rental and what is going on in there. Does anybody have any thoughts, or you just want to keep that in the back of your head and we'll schedule it for more of a discussion after the first of the year?
I'll be in Rotary tomorrow, so I can take some pictures of those walls. Then we could maybe discuss it at our next meeting.
Yeah, that would be great. I don't think there's any rush. I mean, we just can't do something with a week notice when we only meet once a month. But if you could get those pictures to Mikhail, then he can have them as part of our agenda packet for the next time. And anytime, if you guys want to stop by and see it yourself, I know the door to the room is locked sometimes, but you could at least peek in from the hallway anytime that the clubhouse is open there. So.
Okay.
We'll look forward to talking about that. Anything else on the Ridgeline Art Rotary Room? Or Ridgeline, well, it's Ridgeline wanted to use it. Okay, item number 6. We'll do some updates here. The first are, yes. Hi, Joni, welcome. Can you hear us?
Hi.
There you are. Glad you could join us. Thank you.
Thank you. Great to be here.
All right, we're looking at starting item number 6, the unfinished and new business. First up is the update on the Never Forget Garden. The electrical is,
Derek on? Yes.
Derek, do you have an update for us?
Yes, I do have an update for you guys. So we went through and looked at that electrical. We were able to possibly get it completed before the winter glow started. We were just worried that there might be a little bit of power issues once it was completed. So we are actually holding off until January 6th. And January 6th, I have scheduled to have an electrician out there to get that completed. So it should be a one-day project, so it'll be very quick.
Okay, well, thank you for the update. I was hoping we could get it done this year because we had the budget for it, but we'll just have to spend money out of our next year's budget for it. Thank you.
You're welcome, ma'am.
The art map flyer. And I believe there's something in our packet.
Yes, so I put together a template for one. It's in your packet. Plus I'll have it up on the screen. Yes. Thank you. All right, so you guys had asked me to look at possibly doing an art map flyer. So this is a digital template of kind of what it would look like. So we have front, just Parks and Arts Commission, the back with just contact information for myself and Jen. And then when you open it up, you would have a map. It's hard to see on here, so it is a little bit bigger in your packet. Just threw together a generic map of the city with some highlights, and then we have little boxes with colored dots for keys, what type of art, where they're located. And so, yeah, if there's any comments, the only two things on there that I would still need, I don't have names for a couple pieces of art still. So that would be the only thing that would need to get ironed out unless there's other comments on it.
This looks really nice.
Thank you.
Suggestion, I don't know if it's just a printer, but the color, yeah, I guess maybe it is a printer. The colors look pretty similar on the mural and the box wraps annotation marks there. That maybe that's pink here, but it just looks much better there.
Yeah, it's the
Printer?
printer. The quality would be a higher quality if we ordered it from a real printer.
Yeah,
It looks great.
because like where it says Skate City, that is really pale.
Yes.
And that's again, just the print quality from the in-house machine.
I like the layout of this. I think it looks great.
And I just tried to do something simple where we could mainly focuses on where the art pieces are located in the city.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a great start. And, you know, we never want to print too many because we'll be adding art and updating it as we go. And I like that it tells a little bit about Parks and Arts Commission. Do you have any idea what the cost associated with and what your recommendation would be for a
Yes.
first run?
Second.
Okay.
Evan, have you stopped the screen share? Oh, at the very top is that red button. Thank you. So it was, can't find the note for it, but it was right around, get 200 of them for right around $80, I believe, through an online. I tried to find a local company and I reached out to a couple, but none had responded so far. So I tried Sir Speedy and a couple others. That
Yeah, I
reached
think
out.
that's the one that Liberty City usually uses
Mhm.
because I think we had.
And it was right
something
before the
for-
holiday that I reached out, so that could be part of the reason I haven't
Yeah.
heard back yet. So, I mean, I could get some printed from an online source and have them delivered. My only recommendation would be if we can try and find those last two names of those two boxes, box wrap. There's the one on Indiana and Harvard and the one out by the high school.
The Indiana and Harvard one, that's the reproduction of the Greenstone art.
Mm.
So, those may have a name,
Okay.
but I would almost think maybe you could reach out to Greenstone
Okay.
and ask them if we're going to name that box, what they would have, because it's a duplication of the art that's in the new Love Coffee.
Okay.
And they own the rights to it, was my understanding. So they may have a name.
Okay.
That we could use
Mhm.
as a label.
Yeah, there was
And
just
what's the other one?
the other one's out in Country Vista and Henry, the one right outside the high school. There's a box wrap there that I didn't have a name for either.
And that is high school art.
Is it high school?
So it's Ridgeline High School art.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I think that would.
right at
some-
the end of the long drive. and
Yep.
yeah,
Where you
that's the
turn
high
in,
school.
yeah. Yeah. So that's Ridgeline High School
Okay.
art students. So I don't know how you want to fit
Because
that.
it's multiple different pieces in one box, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe just somehow give art students Ridgeline High School or
Okay.
some generic thing, so they know it's the student art from the school.
Okay.
I think would work.
Yeah, so I can do however the commission would like me to proceed with it. And I can do a first run, make those adjustments and do a first run, or we can wait, whatever. you
Well,
would
if
like.
he adds the name for the Ridgeline student art and gets something from Greenstone that they would be comfortable with for the brochure, then I'm all for,
Mhm.
and since it's spending money, we'd probably need a motion.
I'll go ahead and move that upon clarifying a couple of the notations there, we move forward with 200 brochures.
Do we have a second? Second. Thank you, John. All right, any discussion on the motion? All right, all in favor, aye. Opposed? Please show the motion is carried unanimously. Thanks so much for putting that
Oh,
together.
yeah, no problem.
You may have missed your artistic calling. All right, next up on that update list is the pickleball box at Orchard Park.
There's nothing new from my end to report on it, so. As you know, as we all know, the STCU wants to do something that's a little more public than that one, I think, so. So last time we did that, the city did that one, that wrap, so we can go ahead and I can get a bid to rewrap it again.
With the, do we have the art
I'm
already?
pretty sure we do. I'll follow up with it.
Okay. Yeah, if they don't want to sponsor, we might as well just, like,
Yeah.
I don't think it's that expensive.
And they didn't want to commit this late in the year, but I think reading between the lines, it sounds like they want to have something that's a little bit more public, like something that you see, you know, on a stop sign or a,
Yeah, so they'll probably want to sponsor our last group of boxes
That's
there
what
at
I'm gonna
Kramer
do,
Parkway.
so.
Mhm.
I'll reach back and, you know, what's interesting is I sent 2 emails to the place in Kootenai County that wraps those and never got a response from them on that, so.
Hmm.
I'll reach out again tomorrow.
Okay, all right, thank you for that, appreciate it. And then the Harvard Trailhead expansion.
All I had was what Laura had sent today.
That's not
Oh, is
that.
that not that one?
That's the park that Greenstone is.
Oh, yes, is Derek still on? Is
Yep.
it The Greenstone, the restroom, is that what you're referencing?
Yeah,
Yep, so they tore down the restroom last week, and now they're starting on, basically just starting the beginning, plans for it, getting some stakes in the ground, getting everything kind of framed out. They're hoping to have it completed. I heard last, and I'll have to double check with Kevin Steinmiller, but I believe they're hoping to have it done by spring. So it will be a quick turnaround on that project.
do they have temporary restrooms available during the construction?
So yes, every year, once the vault toilet temperatures start to drop, we will put out a mobile restroom there, and the parking lot is still open for people to park in as well.
Great. Well, I'm excited to see the end project. Thank you so much for the update.
You're welcome, ma'am.
All right. Anything else on those updates? Any questions? All right, we'll move on to the Pavilion Historical Outlet, which Laura was unable to attend, but I have Laura notes. Her update on the historical outlook is have not received top plate information from the Historical Society. Until we get what they want on that plate, we're kind of dead in the water. So that's definitely gonna bleed over into next year, which I think we made a notation of that on the budget. Okay, Kramer, Liberty Lake together. And that project is still on track for the spring 2025 install. That was a budget carryover. And the artist is working on it through the winter. And then once the weather clears by then, I'm assuming the piece will be done and we can get it installed and the landscaping completed around that. Next is the trailhead map update. Laura said it's on track for a 2024 completion. The artist intends to complete the install the weekend of 12/20. Laura had checked with the trailhead staff and apparently they're fine with the install going on anytime during business hours, I believe is what the email said. And if there's any, and then you're gonna let her know who to contact, the artist to contact for the final coordination of the install. And I don't know if someone from facilities wants to be involved or not. They were involved in the hanging of the rotating pictures at the other end of that building. So
I will make sure they're aware.
yeah. Anyway, so that's exciting. So that's our Christmas present. It's going to be nice. And I think it's great that they were able to do it in studio and then that can come up. And if there's any updates or corrections or anything, it'll be so easy to do. So that's going to be an exciting project to get done. The end. She's requested some photos of the map and also of the Liberty Lake Together sculpture. She hasn't received anything yet, but maybe we'll get something by our next meeting or before the next meeting, we can go by and actually see the map. So that's exciting.
And 20th, they started the install.
Yes, and I think it's a one day because it's just the one big
Okay.
board. All right, the next one on the item is the project proposal from Leslie Chastain. So if you look in your packet, this was our, I think, first use of our proposal form. For a reminder, she came and presented at one of our meetings a couple meetings ago. And she has submitted this proposal, and I wanted to make you aware. Clearly, we're unable to do anything this year. My thought is that we will put that into our projects for consideration when we start working on our roadmap for next year, which would be at our next meeting. We do already have a list of projects, so if the budget is approved as submitted, this would be an unfunded project that we would have to come out of a beautification or something. So, but it's something that we can consider as we look to spend those funds in those categories next year. So you guys can, spend some time on it, but since we're a short group today, I don't know that we need to make any decisions for next year on this project. But again, this was the presentation and this is the follow-up form for that project. Any questions? All right, before we get into the staff report, Mark, I was wondering if you could kind of give us an idea of when we'll know about the budget, when it would be approved, if there was any questions regarding our budget that we need to be present to give council answers, or what kind of an update you might have.
Sure. So as the schedule that's in front of us would have it, tomorrow evening's meeting, there is a workshop scheduled at 6 o'clock. And so originally we had tomorrow's meeting as the adoption date. We always build it in a little with a little bit of cushion in there so that if something happens and we need to push it, we're not running into a situation where we have to schedule a special meeting. And so based on some of the conversation that happened, we decided to do that. And so the adoption is now scheduled to take place on December 17th, which is 2 weeks from tomorrow. But there will be another workshop for tomorrow evening's, on tomorrow evening's agenda. And so I don't anticipate, based on the feedback that we received thus far, that there will be any questions about the public art budget or anything related to the Parks and Arts Commission per se. That doesn't mean that it won't come up through the course of the conversation. And so if you're inclined to be there in case something comes up, I wouldn't discourage that, but there's no indication specifically that there's a concern with that budget or a question about that budget that I'm aware of.
Okay. Well, no news is sometimes good news,
Yeah.
right?
Sometimes, you're right.
Thank you. All right. Mikhail, staff report.
So I think last time we kind of had spoken, we have 4 new garbage barrels that we will get ready for. We want to have those painted at some point. I think we have them now at the Parks facility. And then project wise, we have the comp plan, Parks and Rec master plan that we sent out a request for proposal for just about 2 weeks ago. So we're hoping to incorporate that with the master plan for next year. And our timeline is to have someone selected by beginning of January, to have someone picked up, and we'll be working on our Parks and Rec master plan throughout this next year with that, whoever's chosen as the consultants. And then in your packets, I have 2 infographics of the survey results. So we ended up doing an online survey, a survey at the library, and then a couple surveys at the last 2 farmers markets for programming, seeing what the community wanted for that. So I kind of just try to combine everything into an understandable, simple infograph. So the first one is the survey results, more leaning towards who did the survey, adults, youth, and then that broken down, and then what everyone's major interests were. So I did the top 5. And then cost point for that, and then what we currently do on the first page. So all combined, all 3 survey results, we had about 365. We had 365 adults do the survey for interested in programming for adults, and 462 for kids. And then as you can see, the breakdown of kind of what the interests were. The top 2 was sports leagues, health and fitness, and then the next 2 were outdoor activities and arts and crafts, and then following individual athletics, STEM, and then homeschool programming. And then the second survey is more of what the community, more large scale things that they want to see or like, and then what type of community events that they already attend currently, and then just how they receive their information at the bottom. So as we move forward, we talked about doing some programming for next year. So I'll start doing a lot of information based off these results. Potentially at the next meeting, I'll have some samples of some things that we could potentially do. The thing to keep in mind is there's things that we like to do, and then there's things that possibly we can do with just one individual person doing it. So I'll have some things broken out, and then we can discuss how the commission would like to proceed with those.
Swimming at the beach is going to be hard.
Yes.
Can't wait to see what you do with that one.
So is there any questions on any of the results or any thoughts?
No, so that some of these you took from the Barefoot in the Park at our booth with
So
those Post-it notes?
So
No.
these ones, no. This
No.
was just from the farmers market surveys, the ones at the library, and then the online survey that we had running for the last month and a half.
Yeah, because I didn't see a really big slide on there. and
No.
some of that. Well, it's interesting to see what people are interested in.
Mhm.
That's great. Well, thank you for doing that. And we'll look forward to receiving your recommendations. Any questions for Mikhail on that before he moves on?
You know, the arts and crafts years ago in the long building over here,
Mhm.
this is when the population was not what it is right now. There was during the Christmas break, the holiday break, the kids, there was an arts and craft, a couple of nights that they were able to do that. I think even Santa even showed up.
Mhm.
So something like that would be, if we could swing something like that,
Yeah.
would be fun,
Mhm.
Like,
especially during that 2 week period where parents are kind of pulling their hair out, you know, and kids are anxious for Christmas.
like cutting out snowflakes and lots of glitter.
Exactly. I remember taking my kids to it. It was a lot of fun, but we'd outgrow that room really quick.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, no, that would be fun, especially like you say during the downtime when school's out for a couple of
Mhm.
weeks.
And just by way of reminder, given David's comments, there is a slate of activities scheduled at the library that include
Oh,
Yeah.
some crafting and family ornament parties and stuff like that. So check out the municipal library's calendar of events for December, and there are a handful of things on there that, especially for kids who are out of school looking for something to do with family, that may fit into that desire there. So
yeah, I
Yeah,
wonder,
this was all pre-library.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is years ago.
yeah, thanks for that reminder. I wasn't thinking about the library. I wonder if they did something bigger at some point, if they would do a special thing over at the event room there at Trailhead.
I'm sure that there are some interested parties over there that would be glad to have that discussion. But I'm sure that the options are open for expanding the number of offerings and the type of offerings based on the space that's available. So,
Right.
yeah.
And that might be a partnership.
Mhm. And I've been in discussion with the library already, what they do. Don't want to overlap on programs that are already done.
Mhm. Great.
The other thing that was brought up was the city has a new dual identification for emails, and so you all should have received an email regarding that. And Evan, I think you have a little more information, but yeah.
Feel free to use me as an example.
I was wondering about that. I didn't know if that was a scam or not.
No, no, it's real.
Yeah, so you guys probably received an email from Duo, DUO, regarding new multi-factor for your City of Liberty Lake emails. That does need to be done. We are rolling for an enforcement date of December 4th, so day after tomorrow. The email that you got from Duo does explain how to go through the activation. There's an app that you will download called Duo Mobile onto, if you have a city cell phone, it should already be there. It's a free app though, very quick and easy, and it's kind of like Microsoft Authenticator and what it's going to be doing. Same kind of idea, just a different platform for that multi-factor. But do want to have that done before the enforcement date of December 4th, if at all possible. Oh.
Yep.
Online.
I need that email again and other, if somebody could get that to me. What was wrong with Microsoft Authenticator?
The main thing is that of the suite of different platforms that the city uses, Authenticator does not meet all of the requirements. So the city is tying multiple things more than just email into Duo. So, but email is a part of it. So anyone who has a city email is going to be using it. So yeah, if you don't have the activation email and stuff anymore,
Is it unique?
yes, it is
Oh,
unique to
so
your
yeah.
account. So I'll have to, if
Can
you no longer have it
resend that
and you
to
didn't.
me?
Oh,
use
I
it,
can't send it to him?
Nope,
Oh,
it will not
never
work.
mind.
I will have to
I
create a new
deleted
one.
it with the one that I get about once a month on the grant writing. Which sometimes I think, my company always sends these out to see if we click them. So
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And they send out about one a month, and I always see that one in there, and it was always quarantined
Mm.
for the grant writing. Does anybody else get that one?
Not that I've seen, but yeah. So, yeah, if you don't have the activation anymore, those links do also expire. I forget, it's usually after a couple of days. So if you haven't clicked on it, but you still have it, you might need to still talk to me. I can be found here at City Hall. Support at libertylakewa.gov is also an email that can be used to get a hold of me. So, and it won't get a hold of just me. It also goes to the rest of my team in my office. So if I'm indisposed for some reason, someone will be able to help. So, any questions?
Thank you for helping me. I appreciate it. Apparently, when that was happening, and then I also got a new phone, I wiped out all my city emails. It was like gone, poof.
You kind of had the perfect storm of circumstances to make things happen. So I think that's a bit of an outlier case, thankfully. But yeah, if anyone has questions, they can email or stop by. So.
All right, thanks, Evan. We appreciate you.
And the last thing we have is the upcoming council report for December 17th.
Is anybody super excited about going to city council on December 17th and giving the report? Laura said she would do slides.
Hang on, I might be out of class teaching then, but let me look here. I can't remember if I'm in class that night. Just a moment.
Mhm.
When does
7 o'clock.
CV go on break? Is it the 20th? Anybody know?
It's the Friday before Christmas.
Yeah, that would be the 20th.
Yeah.
so I'm still teaching.
You're still
Yeah,
teaching?
up,
Okay.
up until the 19th.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll take care of it. I just didn't want to, deprive anyone if they wanted to do it.
Still in training.
All right.
I have one question for Mikkel. That's okay. I was wondering on the comp plan and parks plan, is that something you work with Ben Turner? Does it have to do with like mapping or anything with the streets or anything like that?
No, as of right now, that may come into effect, but I don't think so. So
Okay.
we'll have more once we have a consultant picked out and how we're gonna proceed. But that wasn't part of our scope that we asked for with the request for proposal.
Okay, I was just wondering, because I've met with him on the bike safety master plan, and he's working on that with the street mapping and all that, and I didn't know if our parks were part of a, mapping plan.
Yeah, so as of right now, I'm not aware of that.
So if I can add some context to that, the parks will be part of the pavement preservation plan, condition assessment, and ongoing preservation effort. The master plan that Mikkel's team is working on specifically is more about the footprint of the park and what kind of amenities are offered and what kind of configuration, potential park expansion in other areas where there aren't presently parks. The two overlap in some ways, but the effort that you're describing, Ben is currently managing, and in fact, we have an agenda item or we have a report on tomorrow's council meeting to give council a preview of the item that we'll be bringing forward on the 17th to award that contract. So that master planning effort for the pavement condition and preservation is moving forward.
Okay.
And part of that would include potentially bike lanes and that sort of thing, or?
No, not specifically with that effort. There's, we have a couple of things that would probably cover that. We're in the next year or so going to be looking at some master transportation planning, which is where that would fit in most closely. But in addition to that, we're going to be looking at sidewalk connectivity and then some other things. And so that sidewalk connectivity piece, yes, there's some overlap with biking and other modes of transportation, but it's really that master transportation plan where that will come into play most specifically as an element of that plan. The others, it just kind of tangentially is involved, but you're not really planning for bike lanes, say in a parks master plan or a sidewalk plan, although you're addressing them as the intersections occur. It's that transportation piece where you're really going to see that bike planning occur.
Okay.
And that's still a couple of years out.
Is there already an approved plan for, on the beautification of Country Vista with some kind of landscaping? And I think it's that section down heading towards the high school.
So we have, and I'd have to look at the capital facilities plan to remember which year it's programmed, but we have a rebuild of Country Vista programmed. And during the course of that scoping, certainly beautification will be part of that discussion, and, you know, programming, design, and then ultimately construction. I don't know the extent to which beautification is part of the plan,
Mhm.
but that would be the appropriate time to have those conversations.
And that could also potentially be to maintain a bike lane.
Oh,
Right, and that-
potentially, yes. If a bike, so that's a great point. In projects that are currently programmed in the capital facilities plan, if there's an opportunity to develop new infrastructure, it would be during the design of those projects. So that's a great point. You would want to make sure that those were included. From just a broader planning perspective, it would be part of the master transportation plan, which, like I said, is a couple of years out. But on those specific projects, you could certainly incorporate those kinds of elements into design.
Mhm. How would you see, like us as a commission, being involved in something like the Country Vista project?
I would say that once we get to a point where we're ready to start talking about programming, we bring you into the engagement piece of that, so that we can hear those concerns and have an opportunity to incorporate them into the potential design.
Now, is Public Works the lead on that, or is that planning?
It'll be a public works project, yes. So Ben Turner is the new director of Public Works. I say new, he's been here a while now, but he'll be leading that project when we get to it.
Okay, good to know. Lots of things happening in the city, that's for sure. I have another quick question, just out of my own personal curiosity, and it may impact what we do in the Rotary Event Center. Is there a restaurateur that's been selected?
If you were at the last council meeting, council directed staff to negotiate leases with both vendors.
I saw that.
And so we're in the process of doing that. We don't have any new information at this point, other than we're in the process of negotiating. We don't have anything to bring forward, right? Probably the earliest opportunity to do that will be on the 17th,
Mhm.
if we can get 2 leases negotiated.
Right. And is it correct that they'll be in charge of the Rotary Event Room schedule, or no?
They will be the point of scheduling, meaning they'll be managing the schedule, but they won't be able to refuse. They won't be making decisions about the time and space and event, right? If there's an opening, they're going to schedule it for you. They're just going to be managing the calendar, because it makes sense for them to do that, as the kind of manager of the space.
And then assuming they would have potentially a catering option.
Yeah, that each of them, or I should say both of them, have catering as will have catering as part of the lease agreement. If, for example, if you wanted to have a birthday party in the Rotary Room, you could use whomever is in there as your catering option. You won't be required to
Okay.
use them, but they will definitely be available for catering.
Okay, all right, good to know. Anything else, Mark, since you're here?
I don't think so. Well, I take that back. It slipped my mind and then popped right back in there. You'll hear this tomorrow at the city administrator's report during the council meeting, but in case anyone's interested in making an impact at the state legislature level, when the legislature convenes in January, we're having a workshop on December the 10th over at the library, to go over, how to sign up to testify, right? To talk about the committee structures and how to track bills and all of that stuff. It's 90 minutes, starting at 6 p.m. on December the 10th, which is a Tuesday, at the library. We are asking people to register, so if you're interested, just go onto our website. There's seats available. If that kind of thing interests you, or if you know someone who is interested in that kind of thing, we will be hosting that on December 10th.
Okay, good to know. Anything else? Anybody have anything else? Well, we eked out a quorum. We got it done. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I so move.
It's been moved and seconded to adjourn. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Shortest meeting we've done in a while. Good job. And yeah, Jen says hi to everyone and she's doing good and Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all that good stuff. Thanks.